on, we are into fluids, and then we talk about, we recall that from everyday experience, you know two types of fluids. Like for example, you know water and you know air. One is a liquid and the other is a gas, and we want to know what is similar about the two and what is not similar about them. Okay? What I imply by that is, we have fluid. I gave you a definition of fluid, and then I am saying fluids, there are two types of them, liquids and gases. Obvious examples: water, I'll say air. Although air is not a single substance, it's a mixture of different gases. So we saw that fluid is molecules having some motion. They randomly move. The vectors that I am drawing here is their velocity. Okay. If you think of fluid consisting of n molecules, and each of the molecule has a velocity. Vi is the velocity vector of the ith molecule. Okay. You can think of a kinetic energy. The moment you think of a little molecule like a billiard ball, you can think of its kinetic energy. Right? Nothing complicated. This little molecule has a mass, it has a velocity, it has a kinetic energy. Okay? And then I told you about the molecules having intermolecular forces. Okay? There are n molecules, they have intermolecular forces. Okay? If you have an intermolecular force, you can express that in terms of a potential energy. Like it's a type of potential energy. A common example is electrostatic potential energy. You could have one of them being charged, the other being some other charge, opposite charge or like charge, and then they have a potential energy. So we can think of an intermolecular potential energy that's associated with these forces between the molecules. We'll call that phi. It's the potential that exists between, potential energy that exists between pairs of molecules. Okay? And this would be the kinetic energy. Okay? The same is true for a solid also. That is, when you have a solid, we know that the molecules are kind of held in place by very strong forces. These molecules, they are not absolutely static, like their velocity is not exactly zero. They have some velocity, but that velocity is not high. It's not high enough to escape this lattice and fly away. It's not high enough. Okay? So what you have here is, every molecule, be it a fluid or a solid, every molecule has a bunch of kinetic energy and has a bunch of potential energy. Okay? So you can think of the potential energy between the molecules or of each molecule divided by the kinetic energy. All I am doing is taking a ratio of PE to KE of a single molecule. Okay, of a single molecule. For a single molecule, it's between itself and some other neighbor. Okay. Now, every molecule, you consider any one of them. If you consider any one of them, call this I. If you consider any one of them, call this I. Its total potential energy is the sum of all pairwise forces. That is, I interacts with this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. I interacts with every neighbor or every molecule in that system. Every other molecule except itself. So we want to do this like a summation j equals 1 to m, and of course j cannot be equal to I. Okay, j equals 1 to m, j is not equal to I. This is the total potential, the numerator is the total potential energy of the ith molecule, okay, of all the molecules. And then I write half mi vi squared, okay, and I need to sum this over all the molecules. Okay. All right. Let's call this ratio gamma. Let's call this ratio gamma. I'm not going to do any complex math. Okay, you don't have to be worried. What you just need to understand is that for a solid, this potential energy part is really high compared to its kinetic energy. I'm not saying the kinetic energy is zero, but I'm just saying it's much smaller than the potential energy part. Or in other words, the potential energy wins in a solid. The gamma value is like much bigger than 1 in a solid. Or in other words, if you find a material for which this gamma value, provided there is a way to compute it, which we will not talk about, is much more than 1, then it will be a solid. In a fluid, the molecules are more free to move, they have more kinetic energy, the force is weaker. I told you that the potential energy is lower than in a solid, so gamma being around 1 usually will be a liquid. Okay, usually will be gamma being comparable 1 is usually a fluid, and within fluid we ask the question, what is the distinction between liquid and gas? Let's go with an observable. Okay, if you have some water here, liquid water, and if you have some air in this container, and let's assume they both have the same volume. What is the difference that you know from everyday life? You don't have to be a physicist to say this. Water has a specific volume. It does not occupy the entire container. If you just fill up, this volume is V, and suppose this is 1/3 of V. It's going to stay at 1/3 the level. It's not going to occupy the entire container. If you fill the same container with air, you can't tell the air molecules or the molecules that make up air to stay confined to this volume. You can't do that. They occupy the entire volume. So a liquid, a first difference is, occupies a fixed volume, whereas a gas occupies the entire volume of the container. A liquid occupies the fixed volume, a gas occupies the entire volume of the container. What that translates usually is that, since you have taken thermodynamics, the density of a liquid is usually much greater than the density of a gas. You can look up a handbook on densities. Like for example, water is like 1000 kilograms per meter cube. Air at atmospheric pressure is about 1.2 kilograms per meter cube. The density of a liquid is usually much more than that of a gas, because, go back to the molecular picture, the molecules that make up water, they are moving, alright, they are moving, they are fluid, they can change their shape. You put a different container, they take a different shape. but they still have enough attraction between each other that they hold together and form a surface. Okay, free surface. It occupies a fixed volume and it forms a free surface. It's not easy for the water it's easy for the water molecules to move anywhere within that volume, within the volume of water, but it's not easy for them to reach the surface and just fly away or just exist here arbitrarily. It's not easy for them. I'm not saying impossible, it's just not easy when compared to air or the gas, where there is no free surface. Everybody is just randomly moving around. The intermolecular forces between the molecules here are much weaker than in a liquid. They are obviously weaker than in a solid, and they, as a result, they do not form a free surface. Okay? They do not form a free surface. And they occupy the entire volume of the container. So I compared their potential energy to kinetic energy and came up with this ratio called gamma. I said when gamma is much more than 1, you have a solid in your hand. When it's comparable to 1, you have a fluid. We can break this down further. When gamma is around 1, what you really have is a liquid. Okay? And when you have gamma much less than 1 or even 0, much less than 1, or in an ideal situation like 0, what you have is really a gas. So within fluid we are talking about two properties. Within fluid we are talking about two entities. One is the liquid, other is the gas. From everyday experience, liquids are generally more denser than gases, okay, and they occupy a fixed volume. Gases do not occupy the fixed volume, they occupy the entire volume of the container in which you put them. You can put them in this room or this building or in a small flask. They really take up the same volume, volume as the container. Liquids form a free surface, gas does not form a free surface. They occupy the entire volume. This is the free surface. Okay? And there is one more difference. We'll talk about viscosity. Viscosity is the property or resistance to flow, and usually liquids have much higher viscosity than air or gas. Okay? And I'll just state it here as another difference. Have higher viscosity, much lower than liquids. What I mean is, liquids have a much higher viscosity than gas. Gas has a much lower viscosity than liquids. Okay? They have less resistance to flow than liquids, gases. I'm sorry. Gases have less resistance to flow compared to liquids. So to sum this up, okay, I'm going to make some space here. To sum this up, we have our fluid, which follows the general definition that we saw earlier. We divide that further into liquid and gas. They have differences, I listed those. They have higher density, they have higher viscosity. Viscosity, the symbol is going to be mu, we'll use it a lot. Okay? Higher viscosity, and they have a free surface. Occupy fixed volume. What that immediately means is, if they occupy a fixed volume and their mass is fixed, their density is usually constant or in other words, they can't be compressed easily. What is compression? Squeezing more material in the same volume. You can't squeeze them if they have a fixed volume. You can only get them to so much, you can't press them further, which is usually referred to as being incompressible. Incompressible, cannot be compressed. Gas is an exact contrast, lower density, lower viscosity, no free surface, and they occupy entire available volume. If you occupy the entire available volume, what does that make you? If I take a fixed amount of gas, I put it in a small container and seal it. I take the same amount of gas, put it in this room and seal it, or I put it in the whole building and seal it, which means my density, mass per volume cannot be the same or cannot remain the same, which makes density to be a variable, and that's what makes them compressible. Gases are compressible. Okay, if you squeeze them hard enough, they will become more dense or less dense depending on what you do. That's a big difference between liquid and gas. Of course, you should keep the examples in mind: water, air. Okay. So this is this gamma. I just mentioned that it's a comparison between the potential energy to the kinetic energy of the molecules that make up the solid, liquid or gas. Okay. If solids have a gamma much more than 1, fluids have something that's comparable to 1, and gases have something that's much less than 1. Okay, this is the overall big picture distinction between what is a solid, what is a fluid, and within a fluid what is a gas and what is a liquid.